Hello, welcome to Sean's movie TV show rankings. Today I'll be reviewing Boxcar Bertha, so I hope you enjoyed the video. From 1972. I'll be reviewing two videos today, but they'll all be quick videos because I'm have a bit of a cold. I've had that for the last 2 days. Probably see that in my previous videos anyway, so. Excuse me. So both of these will be short reviews anyway. Over the next week or so, I'll be reviewing Martin Scorsese's filmography. Martin Scorsese is my favourite director, so I'm reviewing all but two of his movies. His first movie was Knocking at Her Door, and New York, New York from 1977, I think. I hate both those movies. I think they're both garbage. I'm not reviewing either of them, to be honest, so yeah. Martin Scorsese, now this movie that I'm reviewing now, Boxcar Bertha, it's a great movie, but it's a bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, so yeah. Martin Scorsese as a whole, I think he is one of the most consistent directors out there. He makes just fantastic movies, great movies. Certainly in his gangster genre, stuff like Goodfellas is considered the greatest of all time in that genre. So he has done other stuff too. And whether or not I don't love all of his movies, I at least give all of them a 4-star rating bar this movie today and the two I just talked about. So yeah. I think the consistency is pretty good. Like even at 8 years old, he just released Killers of the Flower Moon there. What was it? 3 years ago, and that was pretty good. So I give that 5. So yeah, and he has another. I think he's doing another movie soon. So yeah, still going. You have to give him. You have to admire his love of film. Like, he's still going with this. Still making the consistency that he is. I'd say his last bad movie was New York, New York, and there was kind of circumstances to that. But since after that, I made Reggie Bull, and he's never looked back. Everything I give after that is at least a 4-star movie. So yeah. Anyway, start with his reviews today. I'm going to start with Boxcar Bertha, probably one of his maybe more unknown movies. I'd say. Yeah, Boxcar Bertha was directed by Martin Scorsese, screenplay by Joyce H. Carrington, John William Carrington, based on the book Sister in the Road by Ben L. Reitman. Used by Roger Corman, cinematography by John Stevens, edited by Bush Felts, music by Gabe Guerrero, and music by Ted Maxwell. In cast is you have basically Barbara Hershey as Boxcar Bertha. Boxcar Bertha is an interesting one in his filmography. It's kind of maybe the one movie that he was directed for hire. What that means is he didn't really have any input on the story or any of that. It was just the producer. Roger Corman's case just needed a director. Martin Scorsese was young at the time, as only movie before this was Who's That's Knocking at Our Door, which is more of a student film that was kind of had stuff added on into it. So I always kind of forgive Martin Scorsese maybe how that movie's a dog shit. Don't waste your time with it. But not to be me, but I just think it's terrible. So yeah. So, but there are circumstances why I understand that turned out the way it is. This is his first movie where he's director for, maybe the only movie he has where he's director for hire. So, yeah, he didn't really have much creative input. It's just a low budget kind of exploitation film, not sex scenes, and that's, yeah. But on its whole, I don't think it's a bad movie. I actually think Boxcar Bertha is more decent than people give it credit for. It's a 3-star movie, don't get me wrong. I do enjoy it. I don't know, it's a guilty pleasure. I do enjoy it. It's perfectly fine 3-star movie. Or certainly every after this, minus New York, New York, which again, in circumstances why it was so bad, as a 4-star movie, bar one. So yeah, that's the quality of the mouse. Yeah. Anyway, Boxcar Bertha. It follows this girl, Bertha, played by Barbara Hershey, living in somewhere in southern US, so Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, somewhere in the deep south in the US. And she's orphaned one day when her father dies in an accident. So then she's just left to fend for herself. So she kind of drifts from place to place, meeting people, kind of having sex for favour, stuff like that to make ends meet. So yeah, and this is during the time of the Great Depression in the 30s. So there wasn't really much money to go around. Most of the country, I'd say, during that stage in the US was out of work. So, probably a lot of people were drifting town to town just looking for work where ends meet, same as Bertha. So, yeah, that's more or less the plot of it as well. Boxcar Bertha. I do think it's a decent movie. I do think it has something to say about how people can be. I would say people can be made driven towards anything. I think Bertha was driven towards maybe committing crime, not necessarily just a bad person, but because she is her father died, so that was her support mechanism. He died, so excuse me. So she was like a lot of people. She was driven towards crime. You can't condone it. I can't condone it. You should commit crime, but I can understand that she was driven towards crime. So yeah, there you go. A lot of people like that. So yeah, and I think Barbara Hershey actually was well in the role. So yeah, it's not highbrow entertainment, this movie, but it's a fun little road movie, I think. So yeah, it was definitely has that 70s grit feel to it too, but also has a bit of fun to it too. So it's actually a strange but potent mix, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I enjoy Barbara Hershey role as Boxcar Bertha. So yeah, I enjoy what it has to say about people can be driven towards any. I don't think she necessarily wants to commit crime, but she does because she's basically homeless. She's on the road. She needs money. So yeah. So, yeah, it's a fun movie, I think. In terms of the negatives, there's this whole thing in the movie, it's kind of ridiculous where Bertha kind of joins up with a group or a group of people that kind of all band together like a ragtag group, and they're caught like 3 or 4 times in the movie, put in jail, then escape, then caught, then escape, and one that becomes really repetitive. The amount of times Bertha escapes is ridiculous. Now she's the only woman in the group, so I don't know what that says, but she's the only one that keeps escaping. She's the only one whenever they get caught, she escapes. Then they escape again and enjoy back up with her. So that's getting really repetitive. Like they keep getting caught, then escape, then caught, then escape, but she never gets caught. So that's kind of ridiculous to be honest. So yeah, a lot of sex scenes in this movie, so that would put a lot of people draw towards this movie for that reason. I don't know what up people off. I don't mind them necessarily, but kind of felt like it was unnecessary to be honest. Like there are a lot of sex scenes in movies that are probably unnecessary to be honest, with a few exceptions. I do feel maybe it was going a bit too much. Like this was an exploitation film, so a lot of them films had a lot of sex. That's just kind of the way it was back then. So maybe now, maybe so. Yeah, I don't think that was particularly needed, to be honest, all the sex scenes. So, yeah, maybe one or two, but I don't think you need as many as you could. So, yeah, it's not as bad as, like, say, Basic Instinct or something like that, but you didn't need as many as you had. So, yeah. Yeah, and the rest of the cast, they're okay, but they're nothing to write home about. So, yeah. Overall, I give Boxcar Bertha a 3.5. I do think it is actually a good movie. I actually think it's an underrated movie. Martin Scorsese's quality, it's nowhere near the quality of some of his best work, not even close. But it is a good movie. I actually do enjoy it. So yeah, it's a guilty pleasure. I give it 3.5, just about. But it does have problems. But it's a fun little movie. So yeah. Anyway, so Boxcar Bertha from 1973. Thank you.